uh, thermometer. It's 19 degrees, supposed to get down to 12, wind chill down to 5 degrees tonight. So winter's up here in Oconomowoc, Wisconsin is on its way. So I'm wearing all my winter stuff. I got
I hear
thermal
you.
underwear on and all that good stuff today. So it's a little chilly.
So say that Oconomowoc, like,
Oconomowoc,
yeah, 3 times as quickly as you can.
Oconomowoc, Oconomowoc, Oconomowoc.
It's no fair. He lives there. So
Yeah, it's a historical little town here. It's where the Wizard of Oz was featured, the first playing of the Wizard of Oz.
wow.
We have a big festival here. They've got statues downtown of all the Wizard of Oz characters, and
So there's like a yellow brick road around that place.
they
Is that?
got they got a pathway. They got
Oh wow.
between a parking lot behind some of the merchants. They got a yellow brick road painted. So yeah, we do the whole thing.
That's a beautiful thing.
Yeah, yeah. So it's living here in Oconomowoc's like living in a vacation. It's a pretty unique place. We got 15 lakes in about an 8 mile radius, and
Right.
it's known as Lake Country. It's also known as the Hamptons of the Midwest. This is where the rich and the famous from Chicago and Milwaukee vacation. The Paps.
Right.
Oprah Winfrey used to have a mansion right down the road here from
Oh,
me.
wow.
So it's a pretty, the mansions on the lakes are pretty impressive. It's not that I live in a mansion, but it makes you think about abundance and prosperity because there's a lot going on in this community here. So
Right.
we just had our German Christmas market this last weekend, so that was a blast. Little polka music and beer. And I love the fact that I can say I'm from Wisconsin. I drink beer 3 times a week, yesterday, today, and tomorrow.
I hear you. Polka, polka, polka. Yeah,
Polka,
yeah.
polka, polka. I tell you what, there were a couple that was dancing yesterday. It was absolutely phenomenal dancers.
Right.
It's impressive when you see somebody that can do so many things with polka music or whatever type of music you're playing a dance. And I know I can't wait to see you dance, Mark. So I know tonight is dancing night. So
Yeah. Well, well, well. Yeah,
so
I was what'd you do for Thanksgiving?
hung with the Kathy's, my wife's family.
Nice.
Went out to their place. They host it every year, and we bring side dishes. They do the turkey thing, and we just hang and eat and have a good time. And ate way too much. What about yourself, Mark? I know you did some traveling.
Yeah, well, I went and saw my son, and it was kind of cool. We went to Wichita Falls, Texas. I kiddingly say that's God's country. Everything's flat and level there. You get outside of Dallas Fort Worth, and he goes to Midwestern State University. So we were with the primary defensive coordinator. There were some players there, and they brought a healthy appetite as well. Some pretty big boys there, so they enjoyed the meal, and we got to meet a new group of people. And then we went to another friend of his and his parents. He's Zach is a graduate assistant like Teddy, my son, and met his parents, and his father it was a football coach. I think he's still in education. So yeah, it was football, 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 man. I mean, and when you're in Texas, that's all that matters. Baseball's like a secondary thing. But it was fun to see how people celebrate, Thanksgiving, how they do it, and meal was great. The flight was a little rough and bumpy on the way out. We got detained for about 4 attempts because they were getting a part to the plane. So I was okay waiting, and it was rainy on that Tuesday, the 21st. But coming back on Friday, clear sailing, as they say, Black Friday, whatever that means. Now it's Cyber Monday and in between Tuesday, and everybody's having a sale. I don't know about you, but my emails lighten up, man. They somehow people are getting my email.
Cyber Monday, Black Friday, whatever.
Yeah. I mean, you can make all sorts of deals out there. So
Yeah. Well, Mark, this is tonight. Why don't you just share a little bit why we do Elevate Your Profits, and then
sure,
we'll get into a
absolutely.
topic that we talked about this morning.
Yeah. We
It's
did a
appropriate to this time of year. So,
Yeah, absolutely. We did enough rant, but really elevate your profits. That's going on year three. I remember when I first started doing all this streaming stuff, and I'll put a plug in there before I get into that. Ken Walls was the guy that introduced you and myself on streaming, and it's a very viable tool. And what elevate your profits? What is that about? What does that mean? EYP. EYP can set you free. How about that? It's about money. We talk about those things. We talk to people that are entrepreneurs, solopreneurs. They have a purpose, they have a cause, and they're into monetizing things, and that's cool. And then we get other people that are out there, you know, their primary mission is to serve. They want to create an awareness. They want to create a happening. So we've had people like that on. We've had people in technology, healthcare. We've had people that have written books. They're authored. They're known. We've had folks that in the world of sales, their names synonymous with selling. It's like I say, we learn from you, and more so than you learn from us. And that to me is, for me, that's kind of what Elevate Your Profits is all about. It's a learning process, and there's that word, it never stops, and that's what we do. And anybody that's interested, if you'd like to join us on Mondays and you say, hey, those two guys, they're stumbling and bumbling out there. I'd like to get on here and regulate the show. Seriously, if you want to come on and talk about your business, you want to talk about a cause, you want to talk, now that it's this time of year, a lot of charities, organizations are out there doing various things. Come on and talk to us about it. And we still got time. We're still in November. And I kiddingly say this, Tom, before I get out of here. Thanksgiving's like, not even a thought. It's all geared for the big C day, Christmas Day. And,
yeah.
it's amazing how the sales just started, matriculating down the line, the beginning, November 20th. So I was hearing Christmas music, while we were getting on our plane. So it wasn't even Thanksgiving yet. So different. But anyway, that's what Elevate Your Profits is really about, people. So, my friends, feel free to reach out to Tom, reach out to me, and we'd love to have you.
Yeah, absolutely. And as you're watching this, tag and share this with other people. You never know, something that Mark I might say may be something of value, something you can apply in your life to move your business forward or just change something the way you think. Yeah, excuse me. Elevate Your Profits more than just how to make money. It's everything from the mindset of life. And I think, if we can elevate our profits, we can do more in life on a personal basis, in our community, those type of things. People say money's not everything, but it's as important as air. If we don't have money, we can't take care of
Right.
the needs of ourselves and our family. Um, and if we can be more abundant, we can serve and help more people. So please share this information out tonight, because we're coming off the Thanksgiving weekend. Mark and I are going to be talking a little bit about gratitude. I'm going to bring something up here and just ask a question with everybody here. What are you grateful for, Mark?
Well, you know what I'm going to say. And, I don't take it light. I am very grateful, obviously, for my health, because without that, I have nothing. And then I can get into, my family, my faith, grateful to be here in this country, to have opportunities. We know what's going on in the world today. There's a lot of craziness, you know. But
Yep.
but the main thing with me is always I say health, and I guess that kind of stemmed from my dad because he said if you have your health, you're a millionaire. I didn't understand it at the time when I was younger, but I see people that have health issues. It's not fun, and I'm thankful I don't have some of these health issues that
Yeah.
we're encountering, particularly at our age. So you know,
we're in that senior, what people would call seniors. Age is nothing more than a mind frame anyway. Could be
right?
maybe a number, but it's really how you look at your age and
Hey,
be
I didn't
grateful.
I didn't think about it, Tom, till you asked me what's new. But when I got back on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, uh, they were doing some work over here at Georgia Power. So they have these humongous rocks. They broke them up for me, and I don't know how many wheelbarrow runs I made from my backyard to there's an area behind us, a retention pond, but underneath my fence, kind of the earth kind of settled. So I'm filling up a hole. I got to tell you, man, that'll keep you in shape. You know, toting them rocks, man. I'm talking about some hefty rocks. So, but like just being able to do that, at first I really didn't want to do it, and then I'm like, well, how many guys your age could actually do this? I'm sure there are, but aren't you glad that you can actually do this yourself? And so that's kind of what I tell myself when there's things I don't want to do, a chore, a task, depending on what it is. At least you can do it. And if you can, it's because you got your health.
Yeah. People always, ask you, how are you today? And I like to use the response, it's the best day of my life.
Yeah.
And it is. This moment, this very second is the best day of my life. I'm so grateful for so many things. Um, and I just encourage people to really understand the practice of gratitude, what it can do for you emotionally, physically, spiritually. Um, Gratitude is, I believe, one of the most powerful mindset resources that we could use to keep us focused in a positive state. And I encourage anybody that's out there to get this book. Let's see if we can get it in focus here, Mark.
What is that thing? It's blurring. It's
Yeah. It's the name of the book is Gratitude Works by Robert A. Emmons. Um, and you're going to talk a little bit about gratitude from Brian Proctor here in a moment.
yeah,
But
yeah,
I'm a Bob Proctor Thinking Results certified consultant coach. And one of the impacts that Bob had on me was the principle, the law of gratitude, how important and how powerful that is for the proper mindset. Caused me to start utilizing the principle of gratitude in my life on a personal basis, as well as my professional and business life. Because gratitude, I just encourage people when you go to a state of gratitude, notice how you feel, no matter what the circumstance. Mark, you look at all those big rocks. You could have gone to a negative place, but you were grateful that you could move the rocks,
sure.
and it gave you what a whole different feeling and a whole different
Right.
sense of energy and purpose. Or you could have just sat there and complained all day and got more tired than you probably
Sure.
would have done on by itself. So yeah, gratitude is a very powerful principle. I was introduced to this book from one of my coaching clients, and I started studying. It's a 21-day program for creating emotional prosperity, and there's a lot of science behind gratitude. It's not just a feel good principle or concept. It operates by law. And when I say law, as Bob Proctor says, law is non man made. A law is non man made. It will work the same way, all exactly the same way, under the same circumstances 100% of the time. That's law. Spiritual laws, they're not man made. Gratitude is a spiritual law as well. And we apply it in our life, it can change everything. So when we're down, we have disappointments. We're talking about business. So in business, we have more disappointments than we have wins. Sort of like a baseball player. Babe Ruth had more strikeouts than he ever had home runs. That's for sure, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah. So, and it's their attitude of gratitude that if you talk to anybody succeeding in any significant way, you see people that seem to operate in a positive state all the time. When you listen to them, they talk about they're grateful for something. And they always have a why they're grateful. So I encourage people, if you're not really studying gratitude, dive into it and notice what you notice. Notice how you feel. That's an indication. The worst day of your life, there's always something good that you could be grateful for. If you lost a loved one, yeah, we can dwell on the loss, or we can dwell on what they brought in your life. Be grateful for the value they brought you, the love they brought you, the kindness they brought you, whatever they brought you. If we go to that space, changes everything, and it'll change your day, change your life in a very significant way. So I encourage you to get this book, The World Record. When I read this in this book, the world record of writing gratitude statement. We hear this all the time from personal development coaches. Write your gratitude down. Right? What are you grateful for today? This person did it for 50 straight years, never missed a day. Think about that for a moment. What type of discipline that person has to be able to do that? Never replicated something they were grateful for, and they always reference why they were grateful for. It's easy to say, I'm grateful for my cup of coffee, I'm grateful for my wife, I'm grateful for this or that, but why? When we go deeper into the why, our appreciation for the circumstance, the person is heightened in a great way. So think about somebody that has written a gratitude statement every day, never replicated or duplicated something they were grateful for. And people say, well, there can't be that much stuff somebody can be grateful for. I tell you what, you have an infinite supply of something to be grateful for. The flowers you look at, the grass that you walk on, the rocks that you had to move, right, Mark?
Yeah.
You know, now you fill the holes where it was your yard was deteriorating. Now you got something to stop it. So you've got to be grateful for that solution.
Talking about rocks about like this size, and they probably weighed anywhere from 20 to 60 pounds. And
Oh, wow.
you start toting that stuff, because I mean, I had a divot. It was like a washout area, so I had to fill it up. So, because there was like at least 2 feet of space between the earth and the fence. And,
Oh,
wow. And so now I probably got it down to maybe 8 inches,
Okay.
or a foot, 8 inches to a foot. But
Cool.
I've got to put some more rocks in there, and then, gravel, and then dirt, and, it'll be interesting to see what happens.
Yeah. So I want to talk a little bit about gratitude, where to place it in your life and in business. So you have your personal things. I got a beautiful wife, Kathy. She teaches me so much, but in all relationships, we don't always have smoothness. I don't think there's a relationship there that you don't have disagreements, disappointments, misunderstandings, or whatever the case may be. And sometimes we take our spouses or our significants or our partners in business for granted. So I just want to share this with you. I got this on my computer. I tape it right below on my computer here. It says, today I'm grateful for Kathy's, and I have a blank. Like I said, not all relationships go 100% the way you'd like them. So I'm as like anybody else out there. I was taking some things for granted, and I recognize that. So today I'm grateful for Kathy's, and I put something in there and I write it down. It brings her back into a different type of focus in my life. Because if I didn't have her in my life, I don't know where I'd be. She's that significant in who I am and what I do and why I do what I do. So I'm so grateful for her and what she does and teaches me on a day-to-day basis. So I thought I'd just share that with you. Is if you're in business, be grateful for the team that you have, the other people that your business partners, and let them know and let them know that you're grateful for their contributions, what they do and what they mean to you. It'll make their day. It's 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 kind of an amazing principle how that energy flows through them into the next person. And any comments you want to make about gratitude?
How I kind of came across this, we had a guest on here, Brian Proctor, and my father knew The Secret, this particular book, pretty good book. And I found something I wrote here back in, this was in August, and I was having a crappy day. I'm not going to read the whole thing, but it says, very grateful. Now, this is kind of a selfish reason, but very grateful for getting my computer back in order. My computer went defuncto. And if anybody's ever gone through that process, it is not fun. I'm talking like business stuff, personal stuff. Man, I was about ready. And I said, we take our technology for granted. And when it works, and then when it doesn't, boom, you know, and your system crashes, your work routine goes to pieces. Now's the time to stay calm and figure out why Microsoft will not open properly, whether it's Excel, Word, PowerPoint. I go on about that. And I said, I asked this question of myself and to anyone else. I said, do you allow a negative situation to control your entire day? It's your choice. You decide. And then the next day I was walking and I said, reflecting earlier today, it was in the morning. I took my morning walk, it says here, and I asked the question, there's your why are we on this planet? Don't we have a duty, obligation, responsibility? I stole that from Grant Cardone, to be successful spiritually, mentally, physically, financially, uh, you know, and I'm not going to get into every little thing about it, but those are some things I've written down and it's in the journal here. I'm not kidding you. I actually have a book, and I take cryptic notes and try and write some things every now and then. Not the best writer, but that's what I do. I kind of step back, and it could be anywhere from having a discussion, Tom, like you said, with your wife, or your neighbor, or something that happened on as you're driving. You've been there. You're driving your car and someone cuts you off. I don't let it bug me as much. I guess I'm getting older. Sometimes I get asked by my significant other, why didn't you beep at him or say something? I said, there's no point.
Yeah.
And particularly
That's
now,
wisdom, Mark. And I like to always let people know what wisdom is.
right?
Wisdom is the decision you make, knowing the decision you make, what the outcome is going to be.
Right.
So if you flip somebody off because they cut you off, the outcome could be very ugly. It's negative.
Oh yeah.
You don't feel good about. I dare to tell you, I don't.
We've all done it,
Yeah.
but it's just not worth it. And
No. That's a
it's
very wise statement you made there. We
yeah,
know the outcome. That's a wise person. It's not always knowledge, but we know the outcome based on our attitude, our thoughts. And I always like planting this as the threads of our thoughts are the garments we wear. So
right.
your thoughts are so critical in everything that we do, because as we think, take action on those thoughts, it's going to manifest itself in some sort of um, outcome. And so when we're talking about business, what's your attitude about getting up in the morning? Are you grateful to be able to get out and share your message to the world, the contribution you're making to help
Yeah.
people? Um, if you're like Mark, I know you do a lot of phone work. You got to be grateful you have the ability to pick up the phone and dial, that you have some value to bring to the world. I'm so happy and grateful now is a very powerful statement that Bob Proctor teaches. I'm so
Yeah.
happy and grateful now that you fill it in the blank, whatever it is. If you're in business, I'm so happy and grateful now that I have a C as a business, or be connected as a business, or whatever I'm doing. And I'm so happy and grateful now when I want to share it with somebody that I have value to share with them. What they do with the value, your perceived value, is going to be up to them.
Right.
But if you go with a positive attitude when they say, no, I'm not interested, it doesn't bother you. But if you don't have a heart of gratitude of, about what you're doing and why you do what you do, you'll be affected in a very big way, uh, not in a positive way. So I think gratitude in business is so important. Be grateful for your talents, your skills, your motivation, your desire, your purpose. Be clear on those things. When you talk to personal development coaches, there's a lot of writing. What flows through you sticks to you. It's very important to understand this is your genius factor. This spin is writing things down. That's what Bob Proctor taught us, was the
Right.
purpose of writing your objectives, your goals, your purpose. It sticks to you in a different way, and it changes how it wires our brain and our thinking.
Right. I think that's a great point. For me, it's not about reacting, it's how you respond. And I think the first thing I said, react, we all have a tendency at some stage of our life to react, but you got to like stand back and look inside yourself and say, okay, how am I going to respond to this? Even when someone's screaming at you and going crazy, you could have taken someone's parking spot, or you didn't know. And it's just, it all goes back to how you handle things.
Yeah, that's
And
what I love about Mel Robbins, the 5 second rule. Have you read her book or principles about her book?
no, but I'm familiar with it. Yeah,
Yeah.
5 seconds, and yeah.
If you run across something negative, before you react, do a countdown, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 in your brain. It settles you down, and then go to a place of positivity.
Right.
So that's a great principle she teaches, the 5 second rule. We can only hold one thought in our mind at a time. So
Right.
if you're encountering something negative, do a 5 second countdown, regroup yourself, and then go to a place of gratitude and a positive thought, because gratitude is nothing but positive. You can't hold a negative spot and a positive spot at the same thought. So go to gratitude, be grateful for this moment, and just see how you feel. Notice how you feel. I think that's an important thing about gratitude. So write them down. And why are you grateful?
Right.
Yeah. And I always like using it when I'm coaching people on that. We go to a coffee shop to get a latte or whatever. And how many times do we just say thank you? Most of the time we'll say thank you just because we've been hopefully brought up to say thank you for somebody's efforts or whatever. But think about it a little bit differently. Go to gratitude. Thankfulness and gratitude are two different things. One goes deeper. Gratitude is a deep spiritual principle. When that person is making your coffee, be grateful because they had to get up early, maybe go through a snowstorm to get to the coffee shop, get all prepped up. The store owner, be grateful all the way to the farmer who grew the beans. When we get to that place of gratitude, that understand that this whole experience is more than just one incident. It's a string of a lot of other things. Be grateful. The why. Why am I grateful?
It's a great
Like
point.
with my mother and my parents, I'm grateful for what they brought to us, but why? Well, I look at all the things they sacrificed to bring to our family, put the kids' needs before their needs, those type of things, and be grateful for what they did to be
Right.
an influence in your life. It goes in just more than just thank you for the cup of coffee, or thank you for making my latte, but take it deeper. There's a string of things that allow that to happen. You got to be grateful for the entire experience. Now, you're not going to sit there and think about the entire thing, but when you go to write your gratitude statement, I'm grateful for the cup of coffee I'm drinking. Always ask that question, why? Why are you grateful?
And that's why I say health, because why? Because that's the foundation. You don't have that, you can't do all these other things out
No.
there. And
And,
that's the thing I don't want to say fear, but that's the thing that, is a predominant thought in my mind. That's why I got, hooked up with the SIA. Anything that can help me, I'm all for it. Uh, there are no quick fixes. A lot of it has to do with diet, exercise, and all that, hydration.
lifestyle.
I get that. And,
Yeah.
but we're all guilty of, like this past week, I violated every rule under the book because I went to two different Thanksgiving settings, one in the early afternoon and one in the latter part of the day. So, I don't think we got back. I mean, we were exhausted like 9 o'clock at night, man. So it was, yeah, it was a full day.
Oh, we got some guests that are chiming in. Cheryl Rex, uh, coming in through YouTube. What was the name of the book again? Gratitude Works
Right.
by Robert A. Emmons. I'm going to put it in here in the chat for you.
Yep. There's Miss Cheryl right there. We are grateful for friends who care about us. Very nice.
Yes, Cheryl and her husband are Be Connected certified coaches. Thank you for jumping on here today. Be free to make any comments or contributing the way you'd like. And thank you
There's
for
the
being
book.
part of the Be Connected family.
Yeah, nice.
All right. What was it? Why don't you type in the book from
My father knew the secret. You want me to put
yeah,
that in?
Bob Proctor,
Okay.
Brian Proctor, the son of Bob Proctor. Yeah, he's written Bob really in his 12 lessons he teaches in his coaching program. There's one whole chapter on gratitude. But Robert A. Emmons takes it even deeper than what even Bob did. Now, I'm sure Bob had read this book at some point in time. Was the most prolific reader that I ever knew. He had over 5,000 books in his personal library, and he read every one of them. He studied them. He just didn't read them and put them back on the shelf. So I hope that helps you out.
One. And this is the book itself. I'll just kind of see if you can get, there you go. It's a great book. And we had Brian on here and he talked about this. And so I said, I'm going to try this gratitude journal thing, see what that's about. Kind of stealing some pages out of Bob Proctor, as well as reading Think and Grow Rich, the original book. I've got a smaller paperback book. It's all marked up, highlighted, and now I'm going back and rereading things. And it's kind of amazing, like not reading, but asking myself, okay, how does this apply to me? What can I do to be better? Why do I want to do this? What's the whole point of this exercise? Or why am I out here in the yard today, or just everything. And I think you hit the nail on the head. The why thing. Don't get all wrapped up about the how, and take massive action and just start doing.
Yeah.
I think
When you're in a positive mental, emotional state, nothing, you'll just do it. You'll take action. But if you have any negativity, you become hesitant. You overthink things. You're worried about the rejecting. What are they going to think? All the negative things that in our subconscious that we run on start manifesting. So also, I like to use gratitude in your planning. Be grateful for the future expectations you set for yourself and your business, because that changes how I'm so grateful now that my business producing X amount of dollars per month, per year, whatever the case may be. And then why? And what do you plan on doing with the resources, the abundance that you're because if you have an attitude of gratitude before in expectation, those that have that usually hit that goal one way or another. Seriously, be grateful for the future expectations. and don't focus on the lack because you don't have it now. Be grateful that it's coming because you bring, I'm so grateful I have the talent, the skills, the desire to bring my message to the marketplace, whatever your business is, and be grateful for the future expectation. That's a principle that I don't hear taught a lot out there, but it changes how we look. You don't have it. Why focus on what you don't have? Focus on things that if you do X, Y, and Z, you change your attitude, your emotional state, your positiveness, you end up taking the right actions to accomplish the objective.
Right.
And you don't let your fears get in the way. So this book is a powerful book, is understanding how gratitude affects us in more ways than just, hey, I'm glad I got a nice cup of coffee here today. I'm so grateful for Mark Gassard, but why? And that's something that
Book.
thanks, Cheryl. Yeah, tag and share this out there with your audience and friends. And we look forward to having you. Matter of fact, I invited them, Mark, to be a guest.
Oh, tremendous. That'd be
Yes.
fantastic. Yeah.
And talk a little bit about the Be Connected platform, what this platform really can do for your business.
You know,
Allows us to communicate like this, live stream, do webinars, seminars, do some things that help you monetize your following. But so I'm so grateful for the Maggie Monaghan who introduced this to me.
right.
And once I started exploring it, started using it, I says, this makes more sense than me using a competitor's product. And because I'm a financial coach as well, the easiest dollar made in business is a dollar that's saved. So if you're looking for a platform that's not only going to be give you more resources and benefits, I encourage you to take a look at the Be Connected. Mark, go ahead and put in your
Oh, yes, yes. I will
Mark
do.
Gassard at beconnected.com.
Right. Before I do that, Cheryl, we're grateful that you joined us this evening, and I just wanted to say, Tom, you turned me on to this, but I'm really enjoying it. I'm still learning everything there is to know about Be Connected, what you can and can't do, and there's a lot of people that are now connecting with me, vice versa. Some really cool people out there in the business arena. That's one thing I like, and I learn from them. Just watch
Yeah.
what they do. It's pretty cool stuff.
Yeah. Yeah. So Be Connected is I'm so grateful for the person that introduced. She knew that I was live streaming, and she says maybe you should take a look at this platform. Like I shared a minute ago, the easiest dollar made in business, the dollar saved. I looked at what this platform is doing. The free version, free is a good deal. It didn't diminish any benefits. Matter of fact, it enhanced the benefits. And it does have a paid version as well, allows you to do some things that no other platform does. So the whole culmination of this platform, if I was using, there's a new feature coming on board, our sixth element. If you're using Kajabi or FreshLearn or any of these platforms for posting your courses and stuff, this platform is going to be able to do it for you inclusively for the same price and save thousands of dollars. I can't wait to plug my wife's coaching platform into this platform, and that's going to save us alone, just that one platform, $4,000 a year. So if you're looking for resources that allow you to get your message out, more cost-effective, time-effective, take a look at Be Connected, especially if you're doing live streaming, webinars, seminars, summits. You can do some things in this platform no other platform can do, is on the call to actions. It's really cool. So be free to reach out myself or Mark, and we'd be glad to. Hey, it's free. You can get in and you can. Who can't afford free, right?
I always thought there was a catch with that. I'm like, okay, so what's the deal here? How can it be free? So,
Well, when you understand the
there you go.
business platform of LinkedIn, they built that platform on free. Almost all your social medias are built on free. and they know if they get enough subscribers, they can add more value with a paid version, and that's what they do. LinkedIn started on a free platform. They have nearly 1 million people, 900 million users. 40% of them are paid. They see the value free, but they have a few different items or benefits. They don't have to twist anybody's arm. They want that extra power in their,
Right.
and they subscribe. And that's this Be Connected, and the founders of the company, Tanya Hoffman and J.R. Reed, recognized that business model was flawless. So they incorporated that into this platform. So we have a lifetime. It's not a trial period like so many other things are. 14-day free. This is free forever. But if you want some of the things in the widgets and some of the things this platform offers, besides this business social aspect, we're going to have millions of business people throughout the world that you can link up with through this platform, same way you're linking up with LinkedIn and some of the other social media platforms. We're a disruptor, and I'm excited to be part of that because I'm using it myself. I've already seen some significant benefits in my time management, my money, and converting prospects into business through this platform. So I'm really excited with that. But I'm more excited with the business opportunity that was presented with me as well. And Mark, you're aware of it as well. So there's significant, being in the right place at the right time is so critical in any business. When you see something, be grateful something, no matter what somebody's presenting, be grateful that they shared it with you. When you go to place of gratitude, you have a different perspective, a different way to evaluate it. Instead of letting your fears and letting your pre-programming take over and help you make that decision. Gratitude allows you to, like you said earlier, Mark, respond versus react.
Right. And correct me if I'm wrong. This is actually your correct me if I'm wrong. Yeah, that's yours.
Correct.
So I just went ahead and did that. And the neat thing about this is if you click that, that'll take you directly there. And even when we're off the air, you can pull these up. And that's another little feature that kind of neat stuff.
Yeah.
And just so you know, Tom, we're gallery operated here, man. So I just checked.
We're what?
We're operating on a gallery mode, side by side,
Well, we figured it out. Two brains are better than one. So
I'm so telling you, man. But that's another thing about when you get back to gratitude. Like, okay, you screwed up. So we all have a talk with ourselves. I say I put myself in the woodshed and beat myself up, and then I'm like, okay, enough of that. I did that. So let's refocus, and that's all about taking action. It's okay to screw up. I think you mentioned something, Tom, about being grateful, and that's kind of how I approach it now. Like, I screwed up, but yeah, I'm grateful I had the opportunity to screw up. As we kiddingly say sometimes, it's better to be seen and heard and suck, excuse that word, than not to be seen or heard. And so if someone says, hey, these two guys suck, thank you, I appreciate you, and I'm not going to get mad about it. And I think that all goes back to respond versus react. Not that you don't want to get better. You do work on improvement, but you don't dwell there, so you messed up and you move on.
We're talking about sharing this platform, using it in your business. And I just opened up my book. It's interesting how things happen. I just opened it up. Why newness matters. And it says, when people, be grateful that people bring you an opportunity or an idea or a thought. Sit back, be grateful they brought it to you. Understand that'll give you a perspective of their intentions. Many times we take it the wrong way, but most business people have a heart of gratitude, a heart of giving, because they know what they have, whether it be an ASEA product, whether it be the Be Connected. It could be if they're in real estate selling cars, they have a passion, they understand the value they bring. It can make a difference in somebody's life. So if you have your why rooted in your business, your delivery being a place of gratitude allows you to deliver it in a positive space. But anyway, why newness matters. It talks about when we take a look at something new, it re-energizes us to look at things differently. So don't dispel everything that comes across you. Not everybody's trying to sell you something for the sake of $1. With Be Connected, it's free, and it's not a trial period. You can get in and use this platform. If you're using Zoom right now, you got 90 minutes uninterrupted conferencing. You can live stream at the same time. That alone will save you $70 to $80 a month just by being on this platform. So if you're doing any sort of Zoom calls or live streaming, the free version gives you all that power and more. But if you're looking to do some very specific things with this platform, it's made for business people to conduct business in a virtual environment. And definitely check it out. Definitely check it out.
Right. I just put your book up there, sir, since you were reading from it.
All right. Would you come away from Brian Proctor's gratitude?
Oh, well, it's in the very beginning of the book, and I'll just read something. He says, I have learned from growing up with Bob Proctor as my father. The success I experience today is due to that relationship. And he goes, not just my relationships with those around me, but most importantly, my relationship with myself. And I thought about that long and hard. That's on page 20, but that's in the beginning. And I kept thinking about that, my relationship with myself. How do I show up? Do I like me? Do I love me? Do I care about me? I mean, I know that sounds crazy. I know they kiddingly, Brian mentions the fact that Bob would get up there, and you've probably seen this in the flesh. He would kiss himself and says, I love me. But there's a point to all that. And there are some people that their self-image is so horrible. Others can see the greatness within. It could be sports, it could be politics, it could be what we're doing right now, streaming. Some people couldn't even fathom getting on here and looking at a camera, which I'm doing right now, and you are. And people are probably out there and saying, man, who are these dudes and what are they all about? But then that's okay. You can look at it that way. I'm not going to get upset. And
We all have different fears and things
right.
like that. I remember when I was studying Bob Proctor, become a certified coach, we had to learn the stick person and be able to give a presentation on a whiteboard and explain the subconscious stuff. So they wanted us to record it. Now I could do fine stand up in front of an audience because I've worked in presentation modes or public speaking and that type of thing for years. I had no problem doing that. But the moment I put a camera up in front of me, everything I shut down. I mean, I had across my wall behind my computer every page of my presentation drawn out, and I would just look at it and I would do the thing on the whiteboard behind me here. And but the camera got me all freaked out. And today it doesn't even bother me. But you're growing when you're uncomfortable. And be grateful that you're uncomfortable and recognize it.
The other thing that Brian talks about his book is that very thing. Get comfortable with the uncomfortable and, just keep developing, and it's okay. And the past is in the past. Let it go. Some folks have a hard time with that. They can't let go. It could be financial. It could be personal. It could, we're, losing a loved one and or a marriage kind of doesn't go too well. And Brian talks about his first marriage, and things happen to people.
Yeah. And when you come from a place of gratitude, it allows you to look at the positive of what was going on in any sort of relationship. In business, let your business associate, let them know how grateful you are to have them in your life. It's more than just business. And making sales and growing organizations and abundance and all that. But let people know how much you really appreciate them and watch what happens, because we all need to be recognized that we're contributing and have an impact. As my wife would say, do you see me? Do you hear me? And do you care? That's a
Right.
Maslow principle.
Right.
And we all seek that, right, Mark? So
Yeah.
I'm so grateful that we crossed paths. I still can't figure out how we crossed paths exactly. Do you recall?
I think it was like through streaming. And one day you reached out to me and you said, "Hey, I got an idea. Would you be interested in this?" And I know you're with Ken Walls and the Grow Live Academy, and you know, let's have a stream and let's talk about, I got some ideas to kick around. And so one thing led to the other, and yeah, and it all worked out. So
Yeah. Yeah. So I'm so grateful for Ken Walls and what he's contributed
sure,
to the business community with his Grow Live Academy,
right,
teaching people how to get over the fear of this camera and be able to share their message like we're doing tonight. So,
right, right.
um, and the doors that have opened, we've never met Ben Gave without Ken Walls.
No, there's another gentleman that, by the way, I shared something with Ben. It was about, oh, now I'm on the spot. The golfer. Why can't I even think of it? And Ben's probably
Bobby
Mark
Jones.
Bobby Jones. Yeah. I always loved that story where Bobby Jones, Mr. Integrity, where his club face inadvertently tapped the ball and he added that stroke onto his score. No one else was around, but man, you talk about integrity. And because he turned in his card and they said, "Well, I think you made a mistake." He goes, "Oh no," he told them, that's the number of strokes in this hole. And how many people would do that?
Even playing on a weekend with your buddies.
Well, I often said, if you really want to find out about people, play golf. Man, that's a humbling experience.
Yeah.
It's always fun to watch some people. I've seen people throw clubs. I've seen people somehow they get wrapped around trees. I won't go into that. And then there's some verbiage that usually goes along with it too. It's very colorful. And it's over a little white ball, and you're out with nature. And I guess that's the way I looked at it. I'm like, hey, I might suck out here, but sucking out here is a lot better than being in the office right now. So I got the sun shining, great weather. I'm with people face to face. What more could I ask?
With
And I'm
friends, colleagues, or whatever. And
right, and I'm walking around doing it. Some people can't even play golf. They're in a bed. I guess that's what gratitude, started really factoring in. And my dad, in his own unique and crude way of putting things to us, always said, "You think you got it tough? Go over here and look at this guy." It could be you go to a VA hospital, or you can go anywhere, a hospital. Kids that have cancer, uh, you know, they're like 2 or 3, and it's just crazy.
yeah.
And so when
Like
you
this weekend at the Christmas market here in our community, German Bavarian music, German dancing,
right,
polkas and all that. And just watching, I love watching people. It makes you be grateful. You see people that are your age, if not older, can hardly walk to get to
yes,
their table, and then you got to be grateful that, hey, you can get up and move around and dance and that type of thing. So,
right,
like you said, you think you got it bad, just look around.
right.
You know,
Oh,
I
absolutely.
would never trade any of my struggles or challenges in life for somebody else's. Never.
Right.
I'm grateful what I have, who I am, what I do, and why I do what I do. It's been a journey, and if you're always comparing yourself against other people, that's not a good thing, because you can't compare. I can't compare myself to somebody else
Right.
in the same industry. Uh, just be yourself. Do the best. You'll be grateful that you have a great message to share with people. Believe in that, And guess what? Gratitude is a positive energy. It'll bring you back the exact outcome you're seeking if you go approach it properly.
Right. Yep. I think you summed it up perfectly there, Tom.
Well,
Man,
my friend,
do you believe we're like, man, it is like close to 7 o'clock already, man. We just, we were ranting here, ad nauseum or something of that nature. But yeah.
well, I'm so grateful for you, my friend.
Well,
You
thank
know that
you.
this is what the third year,
Number
third
three.
year that we started EYP,
Right.
and
Speaking of three and threes, there are people here in this state. There's a certain football team. They claim they're going to get another one. So, uh, state of Georgia. So they're
well, I guess the pudding hits the road Saturday, right?
yes. Well, that's the SEC championship game. So, uh, I will share something. I didn't video it, but it was so uh, I was enamored, and I just chuckled to myself. I was upstairs looking over the balcony down, watching my wife in the den watching the TV, and I just started cracking up. She was going bananarama because it was Auburn versus Alabama. It's a big rivalry, and it was hilarious to watch her. And I was like, well, gee, what are you going to do when they play Georgia next week? It's entertaining. I just, some people really get into it. And I don't know. I guess I've toned it down. I don't know if it's because I umpire. I don't know. But I just don't get like goofy, crazy. I'm like my younger son and myself are similar, our personalities. Now, my older son, he and mom are kind of similar. They get real intense, they say things, and I'm just like watching, and she's like, are you watching the game? I'm like, yeah, I see it, you know. I guess in their eyes, it's like, you're not going to get wound up with me, or I'm like, no, I'm not. But, I just, sorry, it's a football game. And by the way, since we mentioned Ken, I know he's an Ohio State fan. I'm sure that wasn't a pleasantry to watch that, but, they lost this weekend. It was a great game. It happens. You just take things in stride. But I always like watching that, when people are at sporting events, they do
Yeah.
all this crazy stuff like mojo and touch the screen and put the hex on the guy. I'm just like, whatever, they yell at him. And
It's just a game. It's
yeah,
just a game.
yeah, yeah.
So
I think fans are a trip, but you talk about passion, as misdirected as it might be, some of them put on costumes and, it's insane, man. Because,
yeah,
I've been there with them.
yeah. Well, it's good. People need outlets and a place to
Sure.
express themselves and but who do you think will win the national championship? I think it's going to be Michigan State and probably Georgia will probably play for the national championship.
You mean Michigan? Yeah,
Michigan,
Michigan.
not Michigan State, Michigan.
Yeah. By the way, Penn State, excuse me, or State Penn, as some people kiddingly say, they won Friday night and they beat Michigan State 45-0.
Yeah,
They can't win the big games though. But you mentioned Michigan. That if it is, it'll be a tough game.
yeah.
Um, I would,
Michigan's very well balanced offensively and defensively.
since I'm in this state, I will say it would be nice to see the Georgia Bulldogs win number three. That would be kind of cool. I know my wife would probably, that'd be tough for her to accept, as she says, the coach of Georgia, Kirby Smart, learned from Nick Saban, and back and forth we go. But
Yeah.
they're both good coaches, and
Oh, yeah.
that's a tough profession, coaching. It's a thankless job, and that's the profession, believe it or not, my youngest son Teddy's involved in. So keep your house on wheels. Make sure you hook up with good people. Uh,
Yeah.
Yeah, it's tough.
Well, you're a proud papa. You rightfully so, my friend. Your son played at college level and then is doing his
Yeah,
graduate work
yeah,
as a
yeah.
coach. So
And
that's
the neat thing about that, Tom, is they're paying for it. So that's kind of a sweet deal. I mean,
yeah.
he has to take the classes online. I know he says, I wish I could engage more and be like a normal student, but it's a full-time, his GA deal, it's a full-time position. He's there right now calling on recruits. We left Friday, but Friday night he had to go scout a game because they had a kid that they're looking at, a running back.
Hmm.
So they offer these guys scholarships. It's predicated on how much they can contribute, all that fun stuff. So yeah, Teddy, if
So,
you look at this, you're probably going, Dad, what are you doing out here, man? So.
well, my friend, we have 1 hour in, and I know you got dancing tonight, so we got to keep the other side of the family happy, running on time today. I know you got a big Monday nights always dancing.
Oh yeah.
Have somebody take some picture. I got to see you dancing, my friend.
I will. You know what? We're going to do that just for you. I'm going to say, okay, here. Maybe when a
Okay.
West Coast tune comes up, we'll say, here, video this a little bit. Let's see how it looks, and you know,
Well, I
probably
know you're
talk
from
to you while I'm
Pennsylvania,
doing
and I didn't know they do polkas in Pennsylvania. They played one of the bands played the
Beer
Pennsylvania
barrel
polka.
polka, man. Yeah,
Yeah,
Pennsylvania
Pennsylvania
polka.
polka. Yeah,
Yep, yep, big time.
yeah.
Yeah, where I grew up, that was a biggie. That was always the request. My aunts and uncles were polka freaks. When they heard a polka band, because they have Bavarian beer festivals up where I'm from.
Yeah.
They spend a whole week actually at one of them. I don't know what happens, Tom. You you said you drank 3 beer. Man, I don't know how many beers these guys have, because I'll tell you what, they get trashed the first day and they go back again. So you got to love beer to be doing that stuff. I mean,
Yeah, yeah, for sure. Well, my friend, have a wonderful evening. I'm so grateful to have you as a colleague, a
thank
friend.
you.
And I'm so grateful that we can get together weekly and share whatever comes across our minds and hearts, and then of course our guests that we have. Um, I meet with one of my coaches in the Be Connected team. I'm probably going to bring her in next week.
Nice.
Yeah,
Yeah.
talk. Yeah, expose her out there, the type of quality people that can coach you through this process of how to use this platform effectively.
Right.
Um, so I'm looking to bring Jen Madden in next week.
Okay.
I meet with her tomorrow morning. So
Right.
yeah,
She gets on here, I'm probably going to pepper her with a couple questions. I mean, not
sure.
not in a critical way, in an inquisitive way. What you can and can't do with this platform. I always like
Yeah,
learning new things.
I'll have her do a presentation and then answer your questions
That'd
right
be
here on
sweet.
live.
Yeah.
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 Okay, my friend. God bless you.
Well, thank
So
you.
grateful to have you here tonight. This is the best day of my life.
Absolutely. It's a
Yeah.
Monday. I always say Magnificent Monday is upon us, man.
Yeah. Okay. Do we want to do a rollout or we just want to say,
Sure. Well, you
else have a
got
good night?
something you can play since you're
Let's see
talking
if we
about
can
be connected, pull something up.
see if we can. We'll catch you on the turn, as they say in golf. I'm trying to figure out how to turn the